SoFloRadio.com and SoFloTelevision.com. Since the dawn of civilization, the elusive quest in pursuit of the perfect drink continues to evolve. Now more than ever, we reap the rewards of this passion. The perfect vintage, the finest brew, or a spirit of optimum age and class. And now, SoFloRadio.com invites you to discover the wonderful world of booze by the glass.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to By the Glass. I'm your host, Brett Hubbard. I'm welcoming you to explore the wonderful world of wine, beer, spirits, and olive oil. I'm joined here by my wonderful, well, I guess he's on the board today. He's kind of wonderful.
I'm your co-host today, buddy.
Oh, jeez. George is in the house today. Fantastic. And I got to say, I do have a wonderful guest, Miss Beth Sadowsky. I love Beth. Thank you so much for coming back to the show. You've always been such a wonderful component to the show because what you do is you bring that foodie element that I'm always looking for. And if people don't know at home, Beth does the IHeartOliveOil. It's a wonderful company where she makes all kinds of really wonderful olive oils. The EVOO, I think, is more her thing, right? Mm-hmm. And she is a cultivator, and she is a magical what would you like to say?
A fairy.
A fairy? I wasn't going to call her a fairy, but she's
that's a good thing.
She puts it together, man. She makes it all happen
fairy.
In the bottle.
With pixie
and
dust and magic.
One thing about olive oil that I really love also is the fact it's an agricultural product. It comes out of the ground, very similar to wine, very similar. Olives and grapes, very similar. You have that whole Mediterranean feel, and it's interesting because someone was talking about the Mediterranean diet the other day, and that's a whole thing. If you live like a Mediterranean, now it's the whole the paleo diet is the big deal, right? You've heard of this, the paleo?
Yes, paleo
right?
primal is always something.
Right, exactly. But that whole Mediterranean diet was big, and of course, olive oil is such a very big component to that. So, talk to me a little bit about your olive oils. You have so much going on with you, Beth. How you been?
I've been awesome.
Yeah, I can tell. I mean, I see you all over Facebook, traveling all around. We're going to get into all that. You've been traveling. You went to Japan.
Yeah.
And then you're going to Portugal. You were in Happy Land. Was it Happy Land?
In Happy Land, Connecticut. It's just so weird how it popped up in the GPS. I was at the Mohegan Sun, and it came up as Happy Land.
Happy Land.
I mean, you can't get any happier than that.
Yeah. George lives in Happy Land every day of his life.
The address of the house in North Carolina is Happy Land Road.
Yeah.
It's on Happy Mountain, there's a Happy Trail. And
Happy Trail.
George is a happy pappy.
I'm serious, there's a Happy Trail.
But
I didn't know.
In Miami, he's happy poppy. So not pappy. Oh, it was just a little funny.
Cute.
Anyway, so Beth's in here because we love her, and we want to bring her back. Now, I first met Beth when I was doing a class over at Johnson & Wales. I was doing subbing in, teaching a little homebrew class. You were teaching over there too, right?
I was, yeah. I was working as an adjunct professor at Johnson & Wales.
I love that adjunct professor.
And
because
it's a part-time, I teach, not full-time.
No, it's great, though, because being an educator is so important, and I love teaching people. And it's funny, being in the beer business, I'm such an educator. I'm constantly telling people about beer. It's amazing to me that, how many people are, interested and want to sit there and listen to you for an hour. And I have, an hour limit. After an hour, and you've seen it when we taught that class that I think you sat in for that. Those kids, after an hour, they're done. It doesn't matter who it is. That's why this show's only an hour, because you're not going to want to sit here and listen to me after an hour. It's just too much.
What about me? Could you listen to me after an hour?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
What the hell?
I'd pretend to listen.
He's good at that.
Smile, nod.
Happy. Jack, would you go ahead and grab me, please, that Red Bull out of the fridge? We got some really great products. First of all, I want to thank Ed Roberts and Total Wine for donating some products. They donated this nice Ciroc Amaretto. It's a little bottle, but we'll have a nice little aperitif. We also got a nice bottle of wine that was donated. It's the California Square fine wine that we're going to try tonight. You know what? It's interesting because it's a Paso Robles designation, but it's $20 a bottle, so it's got to be fairly decent, for $20 a bottle. And then we're going to top it off with a nice, we got a Belgian triple we're going to use too, so fantastic. But Beth, tell me all about your, and you're on Kickstarter too. There's just so much. Let's begin with your olive oil. I know you brought in a couple of products here. Why don't you tell us about the products that you brought in, if you don't mind?
Yeah, I have so many projects on the fire. It's pretty awesome and
great.
Ridiculous at the same time.
Yeah.
So I have just about 48 hours left on a Kickstarter campaign, and if you guys don't know what that is, it's like a crowdfunding campaign to raise funds to develop the brand that I'm working on. So, as you know, I've been an importer of olive oils, importing other families' brands, which are awesome, and I have one of those here today.
Okay, great.
But now what I'm doing is I'm moving forward to do an IHeartOliveOil branded olive oil. It's going to be an
Wow.
Italian, organic, extra virgin olive oil. We're working with the farm directly in Italy to have that bottled. I'm going to bring it over, and it's a really great product, and I actually brought a sample with it.
Oh,
with
wow,
me
that's
today.
amazing. So tell me a little bit about how you get into that. I mean, what goes into all that work of creating such a product?
Love, passion, and drive.
That's what I figured.
But yeah, it's just really it's making the commitment that like it's a lot of work to source and meet, getting the right farm, making sure that the quality product is good, because right now what we're finding in the market that there's a lot of product that's being mislabeled
Right.
and certified. So it's really finding the right farms to work with that can provide the quality that I want to bring back here into the U.S.
Aha. Well, that's beautiful. So here you go, Jack. Take one of these. We're all going to say cheers. This is wonderful. This is a little bit of the Ciroc that I mixed with some of the.
Thank you.
Here's to
you.
Beth and to her wonderful olive oils and to her travels for sure.
Cheers. Thank you for having me here, guys.
Our pleasure. Do we drink it now?
That was good. Amaretto Ciroc with Red Bull. I thought it was pretty damn
Great.
good.
I needed that.
Nice little aperitif.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have a nap today either.
So many similarities between olive oil and wine. Going to Portugal next year, I mean, that's probably one of the homes of wine and of Porto and of so many different wonderful specific aspects of the land, of the agriculture. Tell me about some of the olives that grow there in Portugal and why you picked there to use the product to put into your next endeavors.
Well, actually, so for my next endeavors, I'm actually going to use Italian olive oil.
Oh, I thought you said you were going to Portugal.
I'm going to Portugal because the product that I import from Portugal.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So I'm going to Portugal and then Italy. So they actually, in Portugal and Italy, and most of the olive oil farms in Europe as well as in the U.S., they do their harvesting essentially the same time around as they do with wine.
Okay.
So it gets harvested once a year.
Right.
So I'm going to go over and work with them and witness their harvest and, squeeze some olives with my hands. Probably not with my hands, but maybe press the button for the machines and do some tastings, and it should be awesome.
Over there in Italy, they revere olives as a gift from God, just like wine. How do you see that in the way that they're their culture and everything?
It's the same thing. I think it's like wine, olive oil. All these. Like you said, it's these natural products that come from the ground.
Yeah,
they are. They're truly gifts.
They've managed to manifest them into. They actually use them in their religious observances over there. Have you ever seen or heard of anybody using the olive oil in such a way? And
no, I'm not sure.
a little anoint the head maybe or something like that.
Maybe
George, George, any anointing going on over?
Not since I was
Anointed with oil.
A
Come
snake
on.
handler Christian. We used to anoint people with oil all the time, and then the lay on of hands and and pray for them to get better. They didn't ever get better. But,
Yeah, I was gonna say, if anyone knows about weird practices, it would be George.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And snake handling and drinking arsenic
Yeah.
with olive oil in it for flavor.
I mean, I do know about some other awesome uses for olive oil. We all know, like, leg shaving and
Which
this
brings
and
me
that.
back to the leg shaving, George. George, where's the
Listen,
leg shaving poster?
I'm gonna have to make a new one, a little bit nicer, and put it in the new studios. But when we were moving the posters on the wall that
Yeah.
were all like taped on there, the leg shaving poster kind of got ripped, and I really loved it. I worked a long time on it, and I really liked explaining it to people. But
It was a yellow piece of paper with ballpoint pen.
met with an
I really
accident. It
loved
was two colors.
Look at
was
you,
two
new one
colors.
for the awesome new studio.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
So that interesting enough, I've seen mayonnaise made with olive oil. Have you seen that in the stores?
Yeah, actually, so mayonnaise, or it's what's the name of it? Oh my gosh,
it's something different.
it-
When it's made with olive oil.
an aioli. You know what an aioli is? An
Aioli.
An
In
aioli.
Italian is olive.
It's actually an aioli is like a
garlic.
mayonnaise, and it's actually made. The true form of mayonnaise is actually made with olive oil.
Right. Okay.
So mayonnaise in our grocery markets is it's
that's like egg yolk,
it's-
egg white or something.
yeah,
Like
it's
egg yolk.
egg yolk and
Vegetable
olive oil,
oil.
and you make an aioli, which is a mayonnaise.
Okay.
It's awesome.
I want to get. You can buy that, and it's called. Is it with an M or an N?
How does that work?
How does
Now,
it
is that
spelled?
something you can make yourself?
The aioli.
The aioli.
Mhm, yeah. If you have an egg, and we could probably make it right here.
So you
I
would
don't
take an
have
egg
an egg.
yolk. Is it a? Somebody's called George an aioli a couple of times.
Yeah,
but I
just
don't-
this morning.
Hey, you aioli.
Yeah.
You put an H in there. Aioli. Yeah. Hey, yo. Anyway, but if you took an egg yolk and you added in olive oil, right, and then just I heard something about making mayonnaise, you got to make it real slow.
really slow. So really, I mean, you could just you start drizzling in like little by little because it's an emulsification.
Okay.
So you get it to bind, otherwise it'll break.
Right.
And quickly is what you do is you have the egg yolk over a double boiler, so you can kind of cook out the egg yolk, but it's still yolky.
Right.
You're with the whisk.
So you want to bust the yolk down to where it's like just okay.
It's still yolky, but you're cooking out any of the bacteria. Like
Right.
Some people are afraid of
Now, what would you do that over like a low heat or something?
low heat on
Okay.
a double boiler, and then you whisk in the olive oil very slowly.
So you're like turning it, like almost like you're turning, like putting flour into like eggs, that type of thing.
No, just you're literally
Whisking it.
like quickly,
Okay.
very quickly. Yeah.
So that it binds.
You have to make sure, and George will probably would have this. You have to make sure your biceps are really strong.
Good,
For
George
that,
got the
because
gun.
it's a lot of whisking.
George,
I can whisk it.
Could you whisk my aioli?
I'm very
for me?
whiskey. I like whiskey
George likes
business.
I
whiskey.
actually have a recipe on my website for garlic aioli, roasted
That
garlic.
sounds
aioli.
great.
Yeah.
I remember in Italian restaurants, it's aioli, and
Can
they
you
always
just-
used to say that when
Can
they
you
want
just buy it though in the store? Yeah.
No, you got to make it.
I mean, going back
I'm
to what you said,
lazy.
it's like the mayonnaise with the extra virgin olive oil. Now it's really
Jack, look up any mayonnaise based olive
oil based
I'm sorry,
mayonnaise.
olive oil based mayonnaise for us. Since you're Jason today, since you
Right.
couldn't
I mean,
make it.
I personally don't think it makes it any better just because mayonnaise has olive oil in it, or better for you.
Okay, so
'Cause
but
They're-
mayonnaise is bad for you, but I mean egg
Right.
yolks are that bad for you that
it's not the egg yolks; it's the canola oil and all that other stuff they put in mayonnaise.
Okay, so if you put olive oil and egg
Uh-huh.
yolk together, is that going to be
absolutely,
Look at all that.
then you have an aioli,
which isn't as bad for you,
I
right?
mean, it's good for you.
Oh, okay, that's
You know,
what I
in
thought.
moderation. Like
Yeah.
wine's good for you, and moderation.
Sure. George is moderate about all alcohol that he, partakes
No, I'm
in.
not.
Yeah.
I only drink to excess.
And it's interesting because he's pulling up the screen. It says mayo with olive oil, but none of it says extra virgin.
Right.
So I'm interested to see what other ingredients are in there
Yeah. So there's the one I saw, the Kraft mayo
with reduced,
with olive oil.
reduced fat. I
Yeah.
don't know. It just sounds.
So
Okay.
it really does. I'm wondering if it's processed and that type of thing, which brings me to my next question. Okay, so extra virgin olive oil. My mom always used to buy, I'm sure it's you, it's extremely generic, but the Filippo Barrio, but not the extra virgin, because the extra virgin, she thought she liked the heavier taste. So I grew up eating that. And when it came to extra virgin, I tasted the both. What is the differences for the people at home that don't know, the layman, between the two? I mean, is it the lightness? Is it the way it's pressed? Is it the temperature at which it's pressed?
From extra virgin to non?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great question. So extra virgin is the first pressing. And to be called extra virgin, you have to have certain requirements. It has to be below a certain acidity,
Right.
be pressed in a certain amount of time, a certain quality. So if it's virgin or just olive oil or pomace oil, it's a lower quality. It's been filtered. It's probably the second, third, fourth, or maybe even fifth pressing.
So it's kind of like the Grand Cru Classé of wine, where it's the first cut, and then they press the first and best grapes. They go out into their vineyard of their very fresh, their very best lots, and they take their very first pickings, and that's your premier Grand Cru Classé.
Sort of, but with the olives, they're using the first press, what they get out of it, and
Right.
then they're actually whatever's left with the rind and the
Right.
stone.
The
They're
grappa.
squeezing. They're grinding down that stone just to get whatever else, and that becomes olive oil.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So it's like that's why they second or third pressing, not picking.
So is that why some olive oils are a little bit more green hue to them, are a little bit more golden, whereas some are actually like clearer?
No, actually, the color of olive oil does not dictate the quality.
Okay.
So like wine, you'll have certain grapes that the colors will vary, like Pinot Noir to Cabernet.
Yes.
It's the same thing with olive
Okay.
varietals.
Okay.
So the colors may vary, and a darker. A lot of people assume because it's darker, it's better, but it's actually
Right.
not the case.
Oh, Jack, hand me. Oh, I already drank all this.
Oh man, did you bring two?
No, I didn't bring two. I should
Oh,
have
wow.
bought two. I should have bought
Telling
two.
you.
So speaking of wine,
Yeah. Don't we have some?
We do have some wine. Jack, you want to go grab the bottle of wine, please? That's in the refrigerator, sir. Yeah, fantastic. So basically, the varietals do change now. It's interesting about olives. I didn't know this. Maybe you can answer this for me. But are they to actually produce them? They're harvested and they are raw and hard, and then they need to be fermented in a way, or is it how are they actually become? Are they soaked in water? How do you get them to the point to where they're edible and that sort
They're
of
just
thing?
they're pulled off the tree and pressed.
They press them fresh. What about the olives that we eat every day?
Those are cured.
Those are cured. Now talk to me. Do you know about the curing process?
Somewhat, yeah. I mean, it's a curing, like almost like a pickling process.
Could we cure George? He's a little pickled.
He definitely needs some cure.
There's no cure for what I have.
That is a cool bottle.
This is a very cool bottle. Let me
That's
hold
a
it up
very
before
cool
you open it
bottle.
up, guys at home. This is the California Square, and it looks like a olive oil
Yeah,
bottle.
yeah.
And that's why we kind of brought it today.
Yeah, that's
Do you like
cool.
that?
I love
This
that.
is in honor of Beth and her wonderful
I want to bottle some
EVOO.
olive oil on that.
Well, we're definitely. Basically, what it is a brand new and out of Paso Robles, California. It's called California Square, and it's kind of like an homage to the wonderful California. Is there an olive oil industry in California?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so there's a huge olive oil industry. How come you didn't think of going to California to do some olive oil, and how come you're going straight to Italy? Just because you want to go to the heart of it? Or?
Yeah. Well, it's a great question. Trying to think how to answer this. Italy.
Just tell the truth. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, truthfully, I mean, most people really love Italian olive oil. California olive oil is still making its way out. And
It is kind of, isn't it?
It is
Could
still
you name a couple of top producers, even?
from California.
Yeah.
Beer, Cone, McAvoy.
Okay, I've seen 'em.
A lot of anywhere they grow wine,
Right.
the terroir and the climate is great for making olive oil.
But you don't want to grow your wine too close to your olive groves because it gives it a vegetal quality. Did you know that? If you grow your Cabernet too close to an olive tree, it'll taste like green pepper.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's just
Wow.
something you don't want. Did you know that?
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it has to do, the terroir and basically the olives will, because of their agricultural aspect, they'll taint the ground around them. That the fact that the tree itself makes olives that have oil in them. Obviously, the tree itself, the entity is going to be oily and it'll seep into the ground around it.
Right.
And especially Cabernet, they tend to really dig deep into the ground and pull from it.
And it soaks it up.
It soaks it up. So
Yeah,
it's going to
it's
give it an off flavor. So you definitely want to have an olive grove and a vineyard, but you want to have them on opposite sides of the chateau, so to speak. So Jack, when you build your chateau, make sure you put your olive groves on the left,
Right.
and your
Are you
vineyards
taking-
on the
are you
right,
gonna
please,
check?
Jack.
I
Yeah,
totally
mental
would have
notes.
mixed them up and just
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
probably would
I'd
have
have
mixed
done the
matched
wrong
them.
thing.
Yeah, probably. One of the two.
So let's pour a little bit of this wonderful. It just says Cabernet Sauvignon, so it's obviously a very nice varietal unto itself. I'm going to pour a little so you can swirl,
Thank you.
and sniff, and do the whole. Absolutely, and Paso Robles is a really interesting part of the world. I've traveled through it quite a few times. It is along the 5 corridor. It's actually to the west of Monterey. It's an inland patch, but a very nice aviation unto itself. Has a lot of really wonderful plots of land and fantastic vineyards. And the fact that it's just another California wine. Let's face it. Trulit Hearst. It says, that's a Hearst? It says Trulit Hearst, and I know that the Hearst family owns a lot of land around there. Could it be? Could it be? But interesting. So I can smell it from here. So
Yeah.
that's always good. So definitely looks like it's got some, $20 a bottle. I mean, that's not cheap.
bad.
Even for California wine as well. So I get a lot of really fresh cherry off the nose. I mean, it's like almost intense. George, what are you thinking?
I'm thinking Jack needs to be moving so that the camera can pick up his beautiful face.
Here we go with this.
He's beautiful.
Did George have a crush on you?
No,
Oh, it's
it's a
horrible.
long inside story.
One of my
Inside
friends said that Jack should be on camera more because he's a beautiful man.
Jack's good. I've gotten some good feedback on Jack, actually. He's got a good voice.
You are very handsome,
He likes
Jack.
to insert interesting questions, which kind of get me
That's
rolling.
good.
And, I always like to get rolling. So,
Oh,
if you
yes,
get
you
me
do.
rolling, if you get them juices flowing, then, I always appreciate that. So while we're trying this wonderful wine, what would you suggest we have with this fine Cabernet? As far as a little bit of olive oil and some bread, what would you like to pour? The Dom Diego or the Diogo?
We could pour.
Or your wonderful concoction?
Whichever one you want to go.
Well, do olives oils pair with different wines?
They do actually. And that's why when you get olive oils from different countries,
Right.
different regions, different varietals, they produce different flavors, just like wine.
Uh-huh.
So you compare them with your foods. Like this olive oil, this is one of my favorite bread dipping olive oils. It's very
Okay.
bold and very strong in flavor.
So that will stand up to the Cabernet.
Absolutely.
All right,
I
so
think
let's
we'll
try
go
that
with
one
Dom
first.
Diego.
Yeah, okay. Beautiful. Do we
Do we have enough plates? There's more on top.
Yeah,
of the
why don't you
fridge
grab a
if we're
couple
gonna-
more plates so that you guys can
I want to dip.
you can dip. Wow,
I'll put a little extra on there for you, George.
that's a wonderful color. An absolutely wonderful color there. Salud, George. Here you
Can we
are.
share this dipping plate?
We'll put a little bread on this one. Yeah, here you are, sir. Grab some bread and.
I got some bread. I got a napkin over here.
Yeah, good.
Thank you.
We'll share this and.
And away we go, man. I've been wanting to dive into that bread since you brought it out.
There we
Yeah.
go. We have a
And
couple
we
of
just
those.
need to save it for the
Fresh
show.
slice just for you, men.
Thank you.
Wonderful. So this is the color on this is exquisite. I mean, just absolutely, it almost glowing, right?
It is really beautiful.
Yes, it is. Very much.
So you actually so it's really interesting when you taste olive oil. The proper way to taste it is actually the same way you would taste wine.
Okay. So I smelled it a little first there.
I did it wrong. Again.
Well,
So we
first
could,
of all, I'm gonna let you explain this, but I was taken by the color, so I would imagine appearance is everything. Correct? Initially.
it is initially. Yeah, a lot of people, like I was saying, people they assume the color is based on the quality, but there's also the viscosity of it as well, which is very comparable to wine. One of the first things, being a chef, I've always had a passion for wine. But when I was visiting Spain in 2008, was visiting wineries in Rioja, and the winery we were tasting olive oil in wine glasses. So I was hoping that we could do that today.
Sure, we got some
A little bit like it, and that's what I was like. Oh my god, I'm so in love with olive oil all over again, and that's where IHeartOliveOil was sprouted from.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about that. When you taste it in the wine glass, you get the nuances, the nose. You get the viscosity, the mouthfeel. You get the finish. It kind of probably breaks down into all different types of flavor profiles, right? And then you can actually pull the terroir. You can pull the earthiness of it, or maybe it's light and fruity, right? It's got all these different variables to it.
And then the same way, like when you swirl the wine in your mouth, the same way you would with olive oil to really aerate
Would you
that.
mind handing me that glass, please? Thank you, sir. Now let's pour a little bit in here, and let's take a look at it. We'll take a look at that. This is exceptional. What do you think, George?
I think it's really delicious, and it's actually got a flavor, like a really good olive oil flavor. I wish, because I don't know the times I've had because I like oil and vinegar on a salad, and I've tasted really good olive oil like at a restaurant or at someone's house, and I should just go and ask them what kind it is, because then it's like chasing the dragon's tail. You just never find it again.
Okay, so Beth has poured some in a glass here. I don't know if you guys can see this at home, but I know that the color is not indicative of quality, but I just love the color of this stuff because it just glows.
So that's
It
the
is beautiful.
That's the Italian. That's my IHeartOliveOil olive oil.
Yeah, this is the one you sell. Let's talk a little bit about that now. Beth, you're in stores. You're in Whole Foods.
I
Or
am
no?
I am in Whole Foods in California, not in Florida yet. So
Okay.
if anyone knows anybody in Whole Foods in Florida, pass the word
I know.
along.
I know the guy
Are
who
we-
buys the wine and the spirits very well. I don't know if he works with the olive oil.
And this
people.
is the
So-
Beth brand. Is that what we're calling it?
This is going to be the IHeartOliveOil, which I'm anticipating for it to be released in January. With the fresh
It really
harvest.
smells great.
Yeah. And the great thing about olive oil is it's great to warm it up in your hand
Okay.
Okay.
because when you warm it up, you get those aromas. Do you have a glass for some?
Yes.
Because you get those aromas really just get warmed up and they get right into your nose.
So I'm glad I have a
smell it
snifter.
already.
Yeah, you're good with the snifter. Yeah.
Yep.
For sure.
I mean, and just you could look at the color.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just like you would with wine, you look at the color. Okay, maybe you could pick out which what are the varietals, where it's from, the viscosity of it.
So this is very light, and I mean, it's not light like a. I mean, it seems to me like it would be light on your tongue and not like heavy in an inundating way, like goopy or anything. But it's certainly, of course, it's oil, so I mean, it's got some viscosity. But I've seen this is almost like a sauterne wine. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's true. The color, yeah, exactly.
The color of it, and it's not terribly thick and gunky. I mean, it moves around for being an oil. How would you describe this one on a maybe a 1 to 10 of viscosity for olive oils?
On
It's
where
a
it
little
should,
thick, right?
Yeah.
on where it should be, I'd say it's right. It's pretty right up there.
Right.
Probably a 10.
Okay.
It's not too, but we're on a 10 being where it's supposed to be.
Right.
Yeah.
Where do the different
So,
flavors and notes come from in the different kinds of olive oil?
the terroir, the soil, the varietals, the age of the
Like, what am I
olive trees,
tasting
how it's
right now?
blended.
What am I tasting
try,
in this
George,
one?
try tasting it, like if you were tasting wine.
I did. I drank it.
So we looked at it and we sniffed it. Now we're gonna put it in our mouth. I know at home you're thinking, "Oh my God, it's disgusting than drinking olive oil." But yeah, honestly,
Well, it's good for you, though, for one thing.
well, yeah, but honestly,
It's not like drinking fish
it's
oil.
not.
Oh, that's
Jack,
different.
okay, so
Well-
Jack, fully layman, I love it.
Okay.
How many? Jack's never drank olive oil.
Is that a compliment?
Tell me about it. Is that a grimace on your
Should you
face?
drink the whole thing?
Oh, he
No.
slammed it, Jack. It's not Jägermeister.
I thought you did a shot of it.
No.
Tell me what you think. I mean, was that as horrible as you thought it would be?
Well, first of all, me and George have a bit of a relationship with you, Brett, because
Oh, really?
That's true.
Yeah, we got in trouble
Oh, really?
while testing a particular wine by an artist. Let's just say me and George were just simply slammed after the show. So I kind of look at Brett now with a bit of a bit of a stare. I gotta watch
trust
how I
him?
walk into something. No, I don't.
what
I don't.
happened?
Oh,
Tell me what happened.
I think it was
An artist.
Yeah, the Timberlake tequila that we had.
Oh, yeah.
Timberlake has got a tequila now?
Yeah.
Oh, my
yeah.
gosh.
It was very good. Nothing happened. We got drunk.
Yeah, we just got drunk.
Nothing new about that. I'm by the glass.
But
So
it's
George, Jack, and Justin got a little drunk.
Yeah, I hate
Definitely.
Justin. Oh, but that's another story.
that's a whole nother story.
Well,
But
yeah,
as
Beth,
far
go ahead.
as far as the olive oil, it does have a thick, just as Brett described it in layman's terms, it's quite thick. It has a glow to it, and you got to get used to the oily taste. It is oil, so I mean,
Well, I'm a layman too when it comes to olive oil, and that's why we have Beth on. But yeah, I just wanted somebody else because people hear me pontificate all the time. So you definitely want another opinion.
I want a pontificate.
Okay.
Because Beth, that bottle that you brought here,
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure that the first time you visited the former studio location, you left me one of those.
I did.
And I ate the whole thing with salad, and I poured it on, like mushrooms, and I bought those good salad packs. So I'm very familiar with that flavor, and I liked it very much. This the Beth brand, the IHeartOliveOil brand, it's so tasty, so much tastier. I can't wait to put this on something like a
So yeah,
like
so
a
we did the
mushroom.
Dom Dogo and on the plate, and this is the Beth iHeart olive oil in
Yep.
the cup. Yeah. So
Which it should be called Beth,
the Beth brand.
the
Wait
Beth
till you
brand.
wait till you see what the new logo and the brand's
is
gonna
it
look
I
like.
Beth olive oil?
It's going to be a little reminiscent of me.
Yeah, is it gonna have your legs on it?
Huh?
That's
We're
good.
working on a couple different logos. The one that I have my eye on now is a little reminiscent of me, and you'll see because I can't give it away.
Okay.
But it's really exciting.
Can't wait.
We're rebranding the whole thing, so it's pretty awesome.
Just waiting for George to
It's
make
really,
a
it's really
an
yummy. I'm
appropriate
not saying
comment.
anything. I told Beth I wasn't going to sexually harass her today.
Now, Beth, when would be a good time to pluck the olives or pull the olives to
Is there a harvest similar to wine?
a particular harvest season to do that?
So, the harvest it's very similar to wine, depending on the hemisphere. So, in the northern hemisphere, the olives would be harvested in the fall. So it really depends, when they're really ready to be picked. It's usually starting in sometime mid-November to end of December, middle December.
Okay.
That's that's amazing, and it's interesting too because you can have good and bad years with olives. The same, just like wine, right?
Exactly. You can have good and bad years, which drives the price up and down. You could have an early harvest or late harvest, also depending if you decide to leave the olives on the tree a little bit longer, you'll get more of a fruitier taste to it.
Really?
So there's actually like a science too about when they're harvested.
Okay, so they a little more hang time, get a little more fruit out of it.
Yeah, they just relaxing on the tree.
That makes sense. Hanging out, relaxing, getting a little more fruity.
Hanging to maintain it.
All right, very, very cool. So I guess we'll take a little quick break just because people need a break here and there. Just if you're home listening or whatever, you want to go grab your olive oil, maybe grab another bottle of wine or whatever.
Sure. Yeah.
When we come back, we're going to dig a little bit more into what Beth's been up to, what she's going to be doing. We're going to talk about Kickstarter, which is her. It's kind of like a pledge type of thing. We'll let her get into that and all kinds of fun stuff with her foodie crowding funding and all that good stuff. When we come back on By the Glass Show on SoulFlowRadio.com.
Thank you, Terrestrial Radio, for gift wrapping an entire audience and delivering it to our door. SoulFlowRadio.com.
Put a team of professional consultants behind your home or business computer with Key Information Solutions, providing solutions to your internet and computing needs while keeping you on the cutting edge of technology. Preventative maintenance and networking support, hardware and custom-built computers. Let Key Information Solutions be your personal tech staff for your home or office with affordable hourly, monthly, or annual rates to fit anyone's budget. Call Key Information Solutions now, 954-973-3374. That's 954-973-3374. Or visit keyinformation.com.
CBC5 is the executive liaison for all your building compliance needs. Serving South Florida from the Palm Beaches to Key West, CBC5 delivers 5-star service that brings you...
What's this ABC, BDQ, or whatever?
CBC5. It stands for Complete Building Compliance.
Oh, I ain't building nothing, so what can they do for me?
Well, they do more than plan review and permitting. They help the little guy cut through red tape.
I got duct tape holding together my carport.
Well, CBC5 can help. Let them deal with bureaucrats. They helped George Rodriguez solve a sewer lateral problem, and they saved him a ton of money and hassles.
By City Hall, who can do that?
CBC5 can do that. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have a commercial to finish. Contact Shoddy the Hottie at CBC5 786-255-3851 or log on to cbc5.net. That's cbc5.net.
Strawberry patch and smoothie. Come
Get your hands off me.
Huh?
I said don't touch me.
I shouldn't have went to that party last night. Now I'm seeing talking fruit.
You're not dreaming, Bubba, and you're not putting me in that blender to do.
But you're just a fruit.
Who you calling a fruit?
You are. You're a delicious passion fruit.
Why, sure, I'm passionate. How would you like to be blended, huh? I got right, you know.
Customers waiting. You gotta go.
Yeah, but wait, you can...
At Power Smoothie in Aventura, we show fruit no mercy. Always fresh, always delicious. To make the best smoothies and wraps on earth, try our new cilantro lime-alicious wrap or our hot chipotle chicken. Power Smoothie in Aventura, located just north of the Aventura Mall in the Promenade Shops. Or call 305-792-5338. Open 7 days a week.
This is John Etch in the Sports Heads.
You don't flick a player off knowing he can't do anything back because he will get consequences for it. You know, like I applaud Joakim Noah for holding his composure, and then not flipping up because clearly we see he has a temper as it is.
Tuesday 7 to 9, Thursday 8 to 10.
John Etch and the Sports Heads
on SoFloRadio.com.
And now we return you to By the Glass.
Hey, turning Japanese, baby. Yeah, it's the 80s here at SoFlo Studios. So anyway, yeah, it's fantastic. We are joined in the studio with Beth Sadowsky and IHeartOliveOil, and it's just a wonderful product that, she is absolutely... There we go. And we're watching her Kickstarter video right now, so I know we can get the video, audio of that up on the... But very cool. So tell me a little bit about the video and how it went when you were filming it. Like, did you feel good about it, or...?
I feel like it took me like 15 to 20 tries to get it to that point. I probably could have, I need to work on my video skills a little bit more.
But who actually sits there and watches himself do a video? I'm sure that, other than George, probably
all
in
day
the
long.
shower or something.
Yeah.
But so tell me a little bit. Okay, so the video obviously was for Kickstarter. Talk to me about your Kickstarter campaign, what it's all about, Kickstarter, for people at home that don't know.
So Kickstarter is a really cool up-and-coming concept. It's actually started for people who were doing movies and like video games and art and this and that. It's really a new thing for the food and beverage industry. So what it is, they call it crowdfunding, where I'll do a campaign and I'll list my reasons why I need money, what I need the money for, and I ask people like you guys to make a pledge. So you would pledge, you can either pledge money or pledge money for product in return. So in my case, when you pledge $50, you get 2 or 3 bottles of olive oil in return. So you're pre-ordering the olive oil.
Right.
We actually have, you can do a pledge for $1,000 where I'll come to your house or office and do a private olive oil tasting party for 10.
What if you got a guy like George who pledges $1,000?
Wow,
That could be dangerous.
that means it's fake.
I'll have
Do you
to
have to bring your razor?
I'll bring my bodyguard Jack. Will you be my bodyguard?
Gentleman Jack, they call him that for a reason.
Or maybe I need 2 bodyguards. You guys look like troubles.
Hey, you're the one that got me started on that whole leg shaving fantasy.
So then people pledge, and then they get basically it's a pre-order, so it's not like they're just giving their money away.
Right,
for
it's not
nothing.
like I'm like, hey, just give me your money, which would be nice. But I'm actually like, can I have your money? But I want to give you something in return.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah.
I'm all about that. I know I pledged, folks, and I put it up on my Facebook. So go to Brett Hubbard, or is it Brett by the Glass or whatever. You can pledge from there. You go. What's your Facebook, Beth?
IHeartOliveOil.
IHeartOliveOil, of course
Yes.
it is. Yes, so you can guys go to that, and then of course, hey Beth, what's your website?
IHeartOliveOil.com.
IHeartOliveOil.com. So yeah, we definitely got to go check it. And you can find out all about her Kickstarter and watch her funny little video that looks really good. I love the bottle. It's cool because it looks just like this wine bottle in front of us.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
The interesting thing about Kickstarter is you make a pledge. So I pledged $30,000 in 30 days, which a lot of people feel is insane. But
Yeah.
if you don't make your pledge,
Who picked 30 grand?
I did.
Okay,
It was actually a
what's
little
the lowest you can pick so you
could-
actually get the
could-
money?
I could pick $3, but
Oh.
it's really what I needed after doing the research to develop the brand and the logo and get all the certifications, to really get everything going.
Yeah.
So at this point, I have $27,000 to raise in about a day and a half.
Okay, everybody out there, get your checkbooks out now. Stop. Yeah, stop being cheap. All right, come on. We're gonna go to Kickstarter now. If you actually does Kickstarter have a website that you can like go and find you, or
Yeah, it's
we probably don't know off the top of our heads, but we'll find it out before the end of the show.
yeah. I mean, you can go to Kickstarter and it's IHeartOliveOil. Learn why you should too.
Yeah, so you can just go to iHeartOliveOil and it'll be right there for you.
Yeah.
Or of course the Facebook. Everybody's living on Facebook. I have it like hooked up to an IV. That, of course.
Oh,
I
it's
constantly-
like it's crazy.
Yeah, just tune me out and live through Facebook. What do you think, George?
Sure. Yeah.
Absolutely.
What?
Yeah,
What did you say?
Mhm.
They I hear that like it's only Facebook is now for the older people like us.
Of course, yeah. I
No.
mean, 'cause, I don't Flickr, Twitter, and
Exactly.
Instagrimmel.
Yeah.
And Instagram and everything. I'm trying to stay up, but I can't.
I
keep
grew up in
track
the
of all these
'80s
things.
where an Instagram was a totally different thing.
What-
$20 in a guy's hand, and
That's right.
Instagram. No, I'm just
Instagram.
kidding. It's a joke. Anyway, so product development. I talked to you a little bit about product development. Now, the actual product is not something that you create. You create the branding, right?
Well, yes and no. Like I'm not out there. It's not my farm. I'm not growing the trees.
Of course.
I'm not.
You mean
out
you're
there
not a
every day.
farmer, Beth?
I'm not a. I mean, it's like
That's not a farmer's tan.
every other Sunday.
Did you get that in Happy, Indiana, or wherever the hell you were?
Happy Land, Connecticut. Every other Sunday, I just wear farmer outfit because it's really cute.
Yeah.
But, no, so I'm
George,
working.
pictures of a farmer outfit.
Beth in a farmer outfit,
Yeah, what do you think?
overalls. Yeah, sure. The like Ellie Mae
I
shorts
think,
and
I'm
everything.
talking about like
Wait.
Pigtails.
Pigtails and everything. I don't know why you're doing this to me. I told Beth I wasn't going to sexually harass her. I promised I wasn't going to.
So you create
failed at that.
No, being my business already being established and being successful, I've developed these relationships with producers and farms throughout Europe already.
Right.
So now I get to handpick who I want to work with.
Yeah.
So I'm working with the farms, and this is the flavor profile I want. I want to bring back to the U.S. This is what I know people will love, and they're helping me.
So when
develop
you were in Italy tasting olive oils, you kind of figured out what you wanted to do. You fell in love with olive oil again. You started iHeart Olive Oil, and then you kind of once you've hit a milestone with your business and your success, and now you've been able to really kind of hone in what it is you want to do. You pick from certain terroirs. You got the flavor profile you want. By doing that, you can then pick the people that produce it, the different producers, and now it really comes down to branding.
Exactly. Because the thing is, I mean, you got this bottle. I mean, I don't know if you guys can see it at home, but
Yeah.
it's got no label on it. So if this was on the shelf, this could be like the bomb diggity olive oil in the world.
Right.
You're not going to know, like, it's just going to look cheap. So it's really about packaging.
Yeah.
What you can see, like, with this bottle of wine. So
Yeah.
it's really, really important that we get the packaging done right, so people pick it off the shelf and they want to try it.
So what do you think next level now? As I go and look in the grocery store, I'm saying that 90% of all packaging, branding, olive oil is traditional.
Yeah.
But let's say we're in 1985 and looking at wine, and all wine was basically more traditional, but now you have Plum Jack, you have Sugar Sack, you have all these really
Right.
cool, like different, wineries. They're just 7 or 9, they're modern, they're new, they're fun, they're interesting, they're fun. Somebody took that branding to a next level. And remember that one wine we tried? It was about 2 years ago. It was all just for women. It was like
Yeah, what's up with that?
I forgot what it was called, but it was just
Dino wine.
It was just about to the
Like Little Black Dress or something like that.
something like that. Gyno wine. No, but seriously, it was something that was
I've
just
had
marketed
estrogen in it. It was- yeah.
something that was just marketed towards certain people. I mean, are you looking to do something like that, or
Yeah. Well, not. This is really going
are
to be.
you going to go traditional?
No, actually, it's a good point. So I really, with the branding and the packaging, my goal is to go really retro, vintage with it, and just very non-traditional.
Okay, so retro vintage won't be traditional. So we're not talking like retro all the way back to the 20s, like with like the the guy with his hair slicked back and with a violin, like my grandfather or something. But more like what is retro vintage for the people out there?
Just very,
Like a nice matte paper or something.
yeah. It's got
or-
like a little. Definitely got some like an edgy twist to it, but
Okay.
like a little bit like an '80s feel type
Okay,
thing. Like
okay.
a little going like old school, but like not old school where it's just like.
but kind of like
vines.
80s old school.
Like 80s old school,
Okay,
right? But
yeah.
not like vines and like classic Italian, like none of
Right,
just
not
really,
classic, not neoclassic, but
Yeah.
like retro, kind of like
Yeah.
modern retro.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I'm all into it.
Yeah.
Definitely. It's kind of like Yeah, I totally get what you're talking about. So yeah, that's gonna work because, like I said, there's really not a lot like that out there.
Yeah, and the olive oil with the and the olive oil labels that are out there right now, they have not really gone that direction yet. So
No,
I'm
they
trying to
haven't.
take the direction. I'm trying to follow the lead of the wine industry.
No, absolutely, and there certainly is a lot of lead when it comes to it. Especially the wine industry now, the whole polyphenols thing, and how wines, one glass of wine a day, one glass, George, of wine a day is good for you. So olive oil. Talk to me. They have the same antioxidant types of.
Isn't it like anti-cholesterol or something?
Yeah,
Doesn't it
isn't
clean
olive
your
oil
veins?
like amazing, like really good for you too?
Yeah, it's got the same great properties of antioxidants, polyphenols. It's
Yeah.
very, very good for you, and it's got it's the good cholesterol, like the cholesterol
Right.
you get from like nuts and avocado and olive oil. So it's very good for you.
like high density lipotrophic.
Yeah, it's the. Don't ask me which DL. It's like LDL.
There's
or
LDL
HDL.
and HDL. Now
I don't
LDL
know.
is low density. That means it sticks. Sticky is low density, but high density HDL means it's hard and it bounces off and scrapes off the LDL with it.
Oh, so okay, this must be so HDL is what you want. You seem to do cholesterol concerns. You seem to know a lot about it.
It's kind of funny because I did. It's funny. I'm like sitting here thinking to myself, I'm still a young guy, but I had like high cholesterol, and then I started taking fish oil, and I started taking. I only usually use olive oil. I never use too
Extra
much butter.
virgin, I hope.
Definitely, I love the virgins. And basically, I was like reading up on it, and I started taking all these different things, and like I cut my cholesterol in half. You know what it did? It was this CoQ10.
CoQ10, yeah.
It cut my cholesterol in half.
Wow.
I mean, we are getting old. We're talking about Facebook and CoQ10.
I couldn't believe it. Like my blood pressure was up a little bit, and my cholesterol was up, and I was like, I can't believe this. I'm like a healthy guy. Yeah, and I don't eat like a ton of bad food.
You working out?
I work out totally, and it's interesting but I took it and it's not like something crazy from the doctor. I mean, that's something you can buy like you just one a day. Fish oil is really good for you.
It most certainly is,
You know,
especially for your joints.
And a shot of olive oil in the morning. And vinegar.
Well, the last, I tell you, one of the coolest things we ever did, we do a ton of beer shows and wine shows and every show under the sun. And then one of the coolest ones we ever did was the vinegar show. I mean, it's like people drink sour beers. I mean, you can't get much more sour than vinegar.
Yeah.
And some of those vinegars were amazing.
Yeah.
How's the vinegar business?
The vinegar is blown up. It's doing great. And I've got a lot of other projects in the pipeline that we're going to do with that vinegar company in South Africa. I'm going to visit them in February.
Wow. Right.
So
Wow.
I'm really excited about that. And then
Are you going to, what part? Oh, South Africa.
yeah, we're
oh,
in
wow.
Stellenbosch.
Oh, Stellenbosch.
That's where
That's
they
a
go to the-
wonderful wine
yeah,
region.
yeah.
They just coincide, these two.
I
Yeah,
know.
they really do.
I know.
So, I mean, talk to me a little bit about the business. Do you brokerage things? Do you have like a warehouse that you like, or do you just kind of buy product, create product? How does that all work?
I'm a little crazy, and I actually I have a warehouse, and I
you'll-
own all the inventory that I bring into the U.S.
Okay.
So,
So you purchase it, it's then transferred into the U.S. where you
Yeah.
keep it in your warehouse. Is it refrigerated or does it not have to be?
no, it's room temperature. As long as it stays at a certain temperature, it doesn't
Oh,
get-
is in Florida?
It's in Jacksonville.
Oh, okay. So
yeah.
that's not so bad.
Yeah.
Well, there's a lot of shipping going in and out of Jacksonville, too, so it probably
Yeah.
makes it a lot easier for you. There's
Yeah.
a lot of ports up there with the
Yeah.
whole Navy and everything.
Navy,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, so I mean, I follow the product from the time it leaves Portugal or South Africa or Italy, and I work with ocean freight companies, customs brokers to get it here. The warehouse, we manage it, and then I ship it out. I mean, I own. Yeah, it's crazy to own all that.
So they just
inventory.
fill orders in like Whole Foods out there in California, that type of thing, and then boom, you just
Yeah.
So that's great. You can kind of like basically do all the office work from your house if you needed to.
Totally, and that's really what I'm working towards building up my business to keep it very virtual. So one day I'll be on my yacht with you guys hanging out in the back.
Right. Well, we could do a show. From
You know,
the yacht.
working.
Either there or
working on
Happy
my
Land.
laptop from my yacht, traveling around the world.
Either there or Happy Land.
Yeah.
I'll be
Happy Land, of
boat
course.
boy, whatever, boat hand, free boat hand.
Another cool thing too is what
Fourth
I'm
mate.
that I'm doing with the business, and I hadn't mentioned this before, is that with the IHeartOliveOil brand,
Uh-huh.
I'm going to be taking a portion of the profits and donating it to End Childhood Hunger.
That's perfect.
And
great.
the goal of the business is also to become an incubator for other small business owners.
Yeah, I like that whole incubator concept. I've been working with some people, some really big names in the beer business, and they're doing incubator type breweries to where they don't
Mhm.
know where they're going to be yet or what they're going to do, but they know they're just going to take these concepts and like kind of just put them in a little cooker and make them like this, bigger thing. And is that kind of what you're talking about?
Yeah. So, I mean, let's say you had a brand, like a food product that you
Right.
just, I've been making this in my kitchen for like 5 years.
Or I had a radio show called By the Glass.
Whatever it is.
Yeah,
I'm not
exactly.
sure how to get it out there. I'm not sure how to get it out. Well,
I mean, I'm not sure how to get it out there. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. I mean, SoFlo Radio, it's worldwide, but let's face it.
Well, let's plant the seed and grow.
We're growing.
But
We got Beth Sadowsky on the show today.
Exactly. I mean, you've made the right step having me walk through your door.
I definitely. I figure, I'm going places.
Class is the place.
Nowhere but the top.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. So the incubator, it's kind of like a way to put it in the right direction, and
yeah. So we would come in and like coach you and help you and get it in, and we'd probably take a part ownership in that and help get you into the retailers and how to get your product manufactured on large volume levels, and because a lot of people it's very intimidating out there.
Well, yeah, I mean, starting a business in any way, shape, or form. I mean, you might have the best ideas in the world, and stuff pops into my head constantly, but it's like, I ain't got time or money or this or that.
But you do. And that's where the incubator and coaching would come along.
Right. Okay.
That's very Shark Tank-esque. As far as
I'm a Shark-esque.
Oh, yeah. Shark-esque. Yes. Just taking that initiative to where you can give a small startup company an opportunity to utilize whatever thing they're trying to bring to fruition. So
maybe utilize resources.
I like this
guy. Gentleman Jack.
It's very intuitive.
He is. Maybe utilize resources that they didn't even know they had. Right.
Exactly. Yeah. Right. And it's tough. This is owning a business getting started is the hardest thing I've ever done.
Sure.
Tell me about it.
Where does George sign up for incubator? He's got a radio station.
That's right.
He needs some resources. Hey, leave one of those because we're going to drink another.
Oh, I got more.
Oh, we are?
You got more bread? Okay, let's bust out some more bread. Jack, would you mind grabbing
the bread?
We might need actually some more glasses too. We got a Belgian triple.
Dip it into Beth's oil.
Ed Roberts is just, Ed Roberts just a genius.
That's what he said.
We're thinking olive oil and what goes good with olive oil. We picked a great red wine. We picked let's talk about it a little bit, folks. Thank you so much for Total Wine for donating it. California Square Fine Wine. This is a great wine out of Paso Robles. I thought it was fantastic. What I really loved was the square bottle, very similar to the olive oil bottle. It's a wine from California. The squares are round and rich with no sharp edges. Yeah, it's a unique style, unique flavor, anything but square. And it's amazing. I got a lot of nice big cherry off the nose, a little toasted vanilla accentuated by the sweet licorice plum flavors. It really worked out well. Selfie. Hey, there we go. And, but it was a good time drinking the square wine. And now we're going to move over. Definitely, Ed was smart enough to think Belgian triple because, this is a bigger beer. It's got a lot of fruity notes and that type of thing. And we're going to talk into our mics as we take our shots. Hey, IHeartOliveOil. There we go. All right, yeah. So, fantastic. Yeah. And this one here, it's got a little bit of, it's an ale brewed with coriander. I didn't know that coriander, believe it or not. What did I do with my glass? Coriander is the seeds of cilantro. Did anybody know that?
I did not know that.
I knew that.
Well, you're a chef, but I didn't realize that.
But it's something that you forget until somebody reminds you, but I didn't.
But here's the thing. Okay, cilantro is Mexican food, right? But they're using coriander all over Belgium. I mean, can somebody explain that to me? That's kind of weird, huh? I mean,
I was hoping Beth would explain that to me. I don't know.
It's just kind of a funny thing. It's kind of like it doesn't even seem like it's European, So, there you go. You want to hand me a glass? And
I think Jack has the clean ones.
There we go. So, beauty. A little here, and just a nice taste with the olive oil. This is a little bit of a sweeter. It's a Belgian triple, so that means that it has to be at least 8% alcohol, and it's brewed with pale malts, but it's also brewed with cooked sugars. And what they do is they use the sugars to increase the overall alcohol of the beer without actually increasing the body of the beer. And it's going to have a wonderful, big, nice, fluffy head and a full body to it. Salud. This is the new Belgium. Yeah. George like fluffy heads, absolutely.
Sure.
Cheers. But you can kind of smell it. A lot of really nice spiciness, and it's going to be a little bit sweet.
What I want to know is, does this pair well with Beth's oil?
Yes.
I think it will.
I think
I'm going to find out.
Yeah.
Because it's a full flavored beer,
mm-hmm.
and it's got a lot of really nice fruity notes to it.
I could have a dinner just off beer and olive oil. And cheese, probably a little cheese, maybe.
Very filling.
We definitely talked about wine and olive oil. We had our aperitif, but I figured we'd throw a beer in here too.
Good idea. This is nice.
It works well because it's enough of a beer to cleanse your palate and stand up against the olive oil, and it's certainly a nice marriage of flavors. What do you think?
I love it.
I think that
it's a great balance.
Yeah, it's a great balance, and the colors of the two products are very similar. If you guys can see at home too. Very similar, although that olive oil is just beautiful.
Oh, wait, I'm drinking the wrong thing. I'm just grabbing glasses in front of me. Look, it's Beth on our computer. It makes you seem really famous when we see you and then a picture of you on a screen.
Right.
That's like famousness.
I'm like the local olive oil celebrity.
You are.
You are.
There's no one else.
I know.
You win.
Right? So that makes me the number one.
You're the olive oil queen.
So how much did you raise so far? You raised $4,000, you said?
We've raised $3,393.
Okay, that's right there. Okay, so maybe that's not working out 100% if you got to get to 30 grand, which was a lofty goal. I'm going to tell you. Maybe if you want to start out like 5 grand or something.
There are other companies who did something similar who their goal was 30 and they raised 130. So I'm like, if they can do it, why can't I do it?
Mm-hmm. No, absolutely. I totally agree.
I still have 46 hours, so.
Okay, well, everybody out there, go to Kickstarter. Go to Beth IHeartOliveOil.com or her Facebook page, and please, if you can donate, it's not like you're giving her money, okay? In this day and age, you're getting great product. I mean, these are phenomenal products.
Right.
Remember, she's the olive oil queen of South Florida and beyond.
And you can pledge for a private olive oil party by me, or for $2,000, I'll fly anywhere in the country and do it.
Wow.
But if you decide,
so when are you going to make a shaving cream that's all natural, made of olive oil?
Dude. Ding! What genius!
Right? That's perfect, isn't it? Because
that's awesome.
Yeah. You said that you use it to actually shave your legs. Well, if you could emulsify the olive oil to a very fine, and make it all natural,
like an olive oil mousse.
Yeah, it would be a mousse.
Yeah, you could easily do that.
Yeah,
Done.
and just use to shave.
Done.
It would smell good,
and it would make your face feel nice. I mean, I don't know if it would make people. You said it doesn't make you break out, right?
It might depend on the person's.
It depends on your skin. I mean, everything makes me break out, so I have no idea.
But you said you shaved your legs with olive oil, though.
I do.
Yeah,
and I make an olive oil salt scrub too.
Right, so you could probably make a whole line. Now, what do you think,
and
Beth?
I put some on my dog's tail.
Now, I'm incubating here. Okay, do you see me incubating?
Really?
Do you see me incubating here?
Do
you see the heat coming? Percolating.
There's a lot of light bulbs going.
I told you I come up with these great ideas all the time. I just have no clue what to do with them, so I give them to people. So you know what? I don't need them. I think.
And
you
then
should
they get rich.
Yeah, so that's fine. Go live rich and be happy. So definitely make a nice olive oil shaving cream for men and women, bisexual or what is it?
Unisex.
Sorry.
The word you're looking for there, Brett. That's a little bit of Freudian
bisexual
slip there. Brett,
sorry. And then what was the other one you just said? Emulsify. You can work it into a body scrub type of thing too.
It's out there already.
Salt scrub.
A lot of people do that. Yeah.
Okay, but a lot of people do olive oil too, and you're selling that. So.
But I actually do. So I'm going to give you guys a little tip at home. If you have an olive oil, like maybe it's on its way out, it's going to go bad. Put some in a jar, kosher sea salt, some herbs, and use it up in the shower.
Really?
Scrub yourself off.
Does it dissolve the salt or
no? But the salt is an exfoliator,
right?
Okay.
And then you just rinse off and you air dry, so the olive oil can soak into your
I do
skin.
a lot of exfoliating, so that's why I'm asking that.
Yeah,
my skin is very smooth.
I see that.
Yes, thank you.
It's like a baby's tushy.
Trust me. I scrub
Jack,
it raw.
have you felt his skin?
I scrape it raw.
No.
Not on purpose.
It's the rest of you got to worry about though.
One time he passed out though, and he doesn't know that he felt my skin, but he did.
Actually, he was the one that passed out.
It sounds like a little, like a little scene from the Hangover.
They work in this little room together all day long.
Sort of.
I mean,
it was a bit like that.
What did you say? Silence of the Lambs? What?
Hangover.
Hangover. Yeah.
Puts the lotion in the basket.
Yeah, there were
puts
only
the olive oil on the toast.
No, but
the only exception was that George wasn't walking around with just a shirt on and no pants, and there was no tiger.
So it wasn't Monday, right? It wasn't Tuesday.
It wasn't Monday or Tuesday.
Right.
Walking
George walking around blacked out with no pants.
That's Wednesday through Friday.
That's Wednesday through Friday, so it must have been Monday.
Before the skate rink, yeah.
They call that the incubator.
Yeah.
We're gonna call you the incubator.
Incubator.
We could do a whole radio show around that. Bring people in and do a little shark guest incubator radio show.
That's a great idea. She's
That's
full
another
of
light. That's another light.
You guys are the idiot people.
Yeah.
Can you get the people that would want to do it? If you want to do it, like as a, we could segue. You know how there used to be you had one show and then you to use one character and it would segue into a whole other show.
Right.
Like
spin off.
Beth was a guest on By the Glass. Now she's spin off into the incubator.
Right. The incubator.
I know a ton of people who have products are trying to get into the market, which kind of helped me spur this whole incubator idea for the business. So I mean, I envisioned somebody.
Well, I'll tell you what. I would like to honestly, because we're all about wine, beer, spirits, and beverages. But I would like to do because obviously concept with you the foodie thing. So if you have somebody who's food based, who the beverage people or the foodie people, they kind of intermingle, and I would like to get more into food. We've had chef series. We had in who did we have on?
Oh man, I've had some more
from Miami. We had on.
I've had a few people. It's like I can't think of I'm picturing the
I
guy.
know a
He
guy
brought
who's
in
trying to put together
food.
a shake company.
Oh, George does the Jorge Shake. He's got his own shake down at what is it, George? You got to.
At Power Smoothie, it's the malted Jorge. It's a malted coffee drink.
She's trying to put together what kind of shake?
They're healthy shakes.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm wondering. Those are very hot right now.
I got the DT
Would he
shakes.
bring him in and? Would he bring him in and like make him on the show?
He totally would.
Do you think we could put alcohol in him? Would he be opposed to that?
He probably wouldn't, as long as he could talk about how healthy they are and what his vision is to get the healthy shakes into the market.
Yeah, I think so. I mean,
Dave, would you be interested in that?
Come on, Dave.
I think he's listening.
Oh, really? Okay, so basically, it would be cool because what you could do is, you could have the healthy shakes, and we could do that whole thing seriously, and then we'd have fun by, maybe adding a little vodka to it.
You
or
could still
whatever.
beverage related. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and just kind of turn.
Could I
it,
come on too?
Of course.
All right.
Yeah, we got plenty of seats.
Sounds
so
like a plan.
this is actually this guy Dave. He's actually my boyfriend.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, Dave. Well, we got to meet him then.
Yes, you have to meet him.
Definitely,
Get
would
the
love
approval.
to. Of course.
Yeah.
I knew
He's
that.
part of the family.
How'd you know?
From stalking you.
Oh, right. You saw it. Oh, yeah.
But
Stalks my
I've
Facebook
stopped,
page.
Dave. I've
okay.
stopped stalking her as of 5 weeks ago.
Because now George is in love.
Not
he's
yet, but
Now he shaves his own legs.
It's a consideration. So
Right.
yeah, I'm totally too distracted to stalk anyone, and that's not saying that you're not stalk worthy or that you haven't
No wonder why I
diminished.
felt a little lonely the past few weeks. I've been stalkerless.
Yeah, your
Will you be my new stalker, Jack?
your Facebook
That
activity
depends.
is.
I don't want to impart on Dave or anything like that.
If you want, I will surrender my Beth picture gallery from pictures that I found of her online and right
so
click
honored.
saved as. Right click save.
You know,
as,
it,
put it in a
right-click
folder,
this is really
Beth
sad,
folder,
but
a lot of
I
leg
couldn't
shots.
believe that he did.
A lot of leg shots. I mean, just a lot.
A lot of leg shots.
Does
Yeah.
Dave
Okay.
get to go to Portugal and all this?
He does because he speaks Portuguese, so I'm bringing him with me.
Ah,
Il te amo, Dave.
Is he Brazilian?
He's not.
Is he-
He's an American white boy.
Okay.
But he lived in Brazil for a few years.
You know, it's so funny. I was
Ah.
just in the Riverside Market,
Yeah.
and there's this kid Ian who was there. Who just said he speaks Portuguese. He's an American white boy, but his dad lived there for a few years, and that's how he learned it. I mean, that's twice in like 3 hours.
Yeah.
How often does
How
that
odd
happen?
is that? Never. Or
We're
all
like,
the time.
This is like meant to be this conversation.
That's weird.
I know.
Yeah, it's so cool. Well, we wish you the luck with you and best of luck. And we'd love to have Dave on with his shakes.
Sure. Yeah.
Definitely.
Dave
Shaky
shakes.
Dave.
If he
Shaky
doesn't
Dave.
mind us, making a malted Jorge out of it, in one way or another.
I don't
I
think
know
he
the
would
recipe.
It ain't healthy for long.
I
Just
do.
add George.
Just
you
to
want
add
to
a
sully
tad
it
of
up,
George,
mug all
yeah.
up the waters?
I'm healthy, except for the alcohol. I lead a pretty healthy lifestyle. I gotta say.
No, yeah, you
Yeah.
definitely
Anymore.
are. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I'd like to say, hey, as we enjoy all these really wonderful products, and of course, the unbelievable olive oils, that Beth is
It was really good.
Yeah.
The IHeartOliveOil brand.
brought to us, our
my favorite.
olive oil and such. We do it responsibly. We drink wine. We drink beer. We taste it every Thursday at 6 o'clock on SoFlo Radio and BuyTheGlassShow.com. Check out my website. Over 200 shows archived. Yeah. Including at least 2 or 3 shows with
This
Beth.
is my third.
Yeah, this is her third time. So definitely go check us out. But we want you to come back. Don't drink and drive. Do not overconsume. Never drink under 21. Please, if you're pregnant, wait the 9 months. Your kid will thank you. And you can come back and listen to us again every Thursday at 6 o'clock. What do you think, Jack? Sounds like a good deal, right?
It definitely does.
We consume, but we're not overconsumption here.
By the way, we got the same kind of deal as Saturday Night Live. When you've been on the show 5 times, you get a blazer, and we make a big deal out of it.
Not really.
Not that
Not
we
really,
don't.
because what's his name? Rob from Daily Beer Review has been on the show at least 5 times.
He's still waiting on that blazer.
Yeah.
Oh no, wait. It has. Oh.
It's in the mail.
I was thinking. What I meant to say is we get to blaze her.
Ah, gotcha.
That's what I was thinking. Sorry.
There we go.
All right.
Yeah.
Now,
Whatever
Beth,
that
one
means.
As soon as the
real
camera
quick
goes up.
question. How much time do we have as far as the pledges are concerned?
So for Kickstarter, you have 46 hours to go. However, if the campaign is not successful, which it will be, we are going to move the campaign over to foodiecrowdfunding.com.
Okay.
So you'll be able to find me on there. And just, stay posted, like my Facebook page, because I'll be blowing it up, letting everybody know what's going on.
And we look it up under what now?
IHeartOliveOil.
So,
iHeartOliveOil.
it's interesting to note that if you pledged to Kickstarter and it doesn't make the pledge, which we hope it does, but if you go to, you're not going to get charged. And then if you go back to Foodie crowdfunding, you do have to repledge, but you're not like spending the money twice. So if you pledge $20, you're not spending $40.
And with Foodie crowdfunding, I actually get the money.
Good.
Even if I don't meet the goal. So it's a whole different crowdfunding.
We want Beth to get her money.
Thank
she needs
you.
it.
Definitely.
She's the olive oil queen. She has to have her money.
I'm going to get a crown.
She's incubating.
It should be like a wreath with jewels
Oh,
in it.
an olive branch?
An olive branch.
branch.
with-
Yeah.
there
with
you go.
jewels,
Will you
festooned
guys-
with jewels
will you guys
and
make
things.
me one of those?
We could.
Yes.
Definitely. Jack is quite
Yeah,
the olive branch weaver.
Yeah, we can replace the blazer with our olive branch.
Or maybe I
For
can
you.
put threads like yours, and then I can make that like a little.
Yeah, you
wreath
can do little
around.
designs. I can't, but you probably could pull it off.
Okay.
No, but as far as the Kickstarter thing, I'm looking online and I saw the highest
Highest ever?
highest ever on there is Zach Braff, the
Oh, yeah?
director.
Yeah.
I think he directed Is it 300?
300. Anyway,
Yeah.
always a pleasure to have everybody in the world coming together for olive oil. We're definitely, Beth Sadowsky, iHeartOliveOil. We love having you on the show. Thanks,
for
Ed
having
Roberts.
me.
Thanks, Total Wine.
Thank
Thanks
you,
to all
Beth.
you out
Love you,
there.
Beth.
We'll hopefully see you soon.
Thank you, Beth.
I heard olive oil.
Got it in there, sweetheart.